To be fair to some war room members, there were a few I spoke to who joined because, they weren't necessarily that interested in the women, but they were like, I'd quite like to be rich. And they joined with these hopes that Andrew Tate would teach them how to be rich. And one of them, he joined with the hopes that he would learn how to make loads of money. But what he tells me he very quickly found out when he joined was that within the war room and within Andrew Tate's sphere, there was really only one way they taught you how to make money, which was by either taking your girlfriend you already have and getting her to work for you on webcam or OnlyFans and give you all the money, or going out there and recruiting women, making them believe that you want to be their boyfriend, when in reality, you're planning to get them to work for you in the sex industry and give you the money.
The HR department, the HR category of the webcam business is the largest and most important thing. You're effectively taking girls, teaching them how to make unlimited money from home, and then making sure they give it all to you. So it's not an easy task.
We saw cases of men around the world following this advice and ended up speaking to women in the US, South America, and Europe who had all been groomed by men who were members of Andrew Tate's war room and had learnt directly from Andrew Tate how to do it.
And one of the aims of the war room, or one of the aims that Andrew Tate teaches, is for women to get the name of their boyfriend tattooed on them.
It's hard to imagine what explanation he might have for why he wants to do it, but it's important to note that it's a very common tactic seen amongst human traffickers around the world, particularly in Eastern Europe. I've spoken to legal experts in the UK, I've spoken to members of the Department of Homeland Security in the US who investigate human trafficking, and that's a hallmark that they say they see recurring over and over again. And because these men are alleged of using, in the most part, a non-violent means of grooming, right? They make these women psychologically dependent on them, often financially dependent as well, but particularly psychologically dependent, and have them believing it's a relationship with boyfriend and girlfriend, and this is just something we do. Once those women have that name tattooed on them, psychologically it becomes a lot harder for them to leave, right? And what we saw was Andrew Tate really egged on his war room members to get women to do this for them, and he would brag by sending pictures of the women he had with King Tate or property of Tate or Tate's property or just the word Tate tattooed over them. And it was, not a few women, I'm talking more than 15, probably around 20 women we saw with the name Tate tattooed on them. But what we also saw was other war room members excitedly bragging to their fellow war room members, I finally convinced my girlfriend to get my name tattooed on her. Or that 19-year-old girl who I met in Starbucks last week, who I've got working for me on webcam, she's agreed to get her name tattooed on me. And they were really gleefully bragging about it. And then the other side of it is they were using those photos to help each other out. So one war room brother, as we saw, he basically received a message from another war room brother saying, look, I've got this girl's name tattooed on me. And he said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show it to my girlfriend and say, look, my friend's girlfriend's perfectly willing to get his name tattooed on her. My other friend's girlfriend's perfectly willing to do it. Why wouldn't you do it? Don't you love me? If you loved me, you would do it. So there's a huge amount of emotional manipulation in play as well. So he had 2 courses, video courses, that you can think, they're kind of akin to like the masterclass course, except these courses are essentially human trafficking with Andrew Tate. The first course was Andrew Tate's PhD course, which stands for the Pimping Hose degree, which is essentially his recruitment course.
So the recruitment process is the same as the PhD course. You message them on Instagram. The PhD course is my recruitment system. I don't mention webcam until after I've had sex with the girl.
And then the webcam course basically teaches you how to take those women that you've acquired and then convert them into working for you in webcam and giving you all the money. It was incredibly detailed, incredibly calculated, and not only did they give men the blueprint for how to do this, but they then provided essentially customer support while they were going through the process of doing it.
Andrew Tate is currently facing a string of criminal and civil charges. Do you think he is going to face any jail time?
I think, given the evidence I've seen, some of it relating to his Romania investigation, some of it relating to the civil case here in the UK, I think there's definitely a strong argument for why Andrew Tate should face trial for these charges. I know that's something he doesn't think should be happening, but I think considering the evidence we've seen, we should definitely place him in front of a jury. But yeah, there are serious issues when it comes to trying to convict people, not just for human trafficking crimes, but also for rape and sexual assault crimes. I know in Romania it's just a judge, but it partially comes down to the huge burden of proof required, alongside the fact that these are crimes that take place in private, behind closed doors. I think the one thing that will be incredibly interesting when and if Andrew Tate does eventually go to trial is the WhatsApp messages, the communications on his phone, the financial records with these webcam companies. Because from my experience of Tate, he's a prolific phone and internet user. He's on it the whole time. He's constantly messaging people, and he's not very careful with what he messages. He sent things to me that I think he wishes he hadn't sent me. So I can't comment on whether I think he'll do jail time, but I think it would be a real miscarriage of justice if he didn't at least face trial quite soon.